So it wasn't a linear journey, but when I look backwards now on the choices that I made and different opportunities I took, there was some common elements that make sense to how I ended up for what I'm doing right now, which is having my own consulting practice where I'm a coach and consultant, and now book author to people, and I lead trips to Japan. And I'll tell you the story backwards, but it's all connected to learning, to being international around the world, and to helping people become their better selves. And that's really been the commonality across my career. So when I was in university many years ago, I thought that I was going to become a university professor. I was really passionate about healthcare and healthcare policy, looking at global healthcare. And so out of college, out of university, I took a role as a research associate at the University of California, San Francisco, and worked in health policy research for 2.5 years. And what I really loved about that was the academic element of research and contributing to, I would say the broader discourse. I don't know if that's too complicated of a word, but broader knowledge for the world. But what was missing for me was the direct connection with people. The things that I enjoyed were going to conferences and talking to people and sharing knowledge. I've always been an international person, though. In university, I'd studied in Spain. And then after university, before the research job, I moved to London for a year. And when I was in high school, I'd done an exchange program to the Dominican Republic. So I still had that pull inside of me, and I applied for a Fulbright scholarship and I was awarded it, which was really exciting, and moved to Australia to do my master's in public health policy there. And I was having a wonderful time living in Australia, and ultimately decided to stay for another few years. I had a career decision at that point, whether or not I would stay in academia or do something different. And again, I was feeling that disconnect that was all looking in the past versus looking to the future. And I decided to stay in Australia, but took a job at PricewaterhouseCoopers as a consultant. And so that was a nice bridge into what I'm doing now. And then I moved back to the United States after 4 years in Australia. And this is where I started learning and practicing lean. I took a role at the Stanford Children's Hospital, and I was there for almost 6 years. And really my lean journey really started with the hospital there. Then I took another role at another healthcare organization, and from there started my own consulting practice so I really could have a broader impact, and had an opportunity to move to Japan for 1.5 years as well. So that's sort of the long yet short version. And but there's some commonality across all of them, but I would never ever have thought that I'm doing what I'm doing today when I graduated from university. So I think what a takeaway from that is just to knowing that things will move.